Hello, YouTube. How is everyone doing on this wonderful hump day? Hope you're all doing well. Anyways, I'm coming to you with a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So you're wondering, okay, what could that be? Well, you'll have to stay tuned to see. Start off with a friend of mine, Liz, over at Liz Crochet and More, and I will share her link down below. I've been a follower of hers for, I think about 3-4 years now. And for the December-ish or the early January of 2023, I think about January 2023, she kind of went on a little need to step back kind of moment. And she was pretty much gone for about a year-ish. And she's slowly coming back. So I'm glad to see her back on the YouTube streets. She's not around much right now, but she is working on, getting back to being out there more often and stuff. And, wishing her well and stuff like that. Anyway, she did a video back, oh boy, I'm thinking about 4 or 5 months ago now. And she was showing us what was in her project bag. Now, I think she took the bag and went and gathered up everything she could possibly put her hands on to put in this bag. It was never ending. Like she had multiples of the same item. I don't know what was going on there, but it was almost like she had Hermione Granger put a spell on it where the bag was endless. Like she just kept pulling things out left, right, and center. And like I said, multiples. Like I think she pulled out 5 or 6 different packs of stitch markers and like 4 or 5 the retractable type measuring tapes and multiple pairs of scissors. It never ended. So she put a challenge out there for us to show her our project bags. Now here at home, okay, I've got project bags if you want to call it that. My socks, for example, the pink ones I'm working on are in a sandwich bag. Like a clear plastic normal Ziploc sandwich bag. My other pair of socks that I casted on are in the freezer, like the large freezer bag, and the sandwich bag with the pink pair are in that bag as well. So I wouldn't really call that a project bag. I do have a Michaels bag, and it's got a pattern book and the project in it, and I will share with you guys in a moment as to how it's coming along. But like it just sits here, there's nothing special about it. But back in 2018, when I would babysit my niece and nephew and then send them off to school in the morning. Unfortunately, back then, yes, I was a smoker. I'm not now, almost 2 years free. Yay for me. But when I would leave my sister-in-law's home to walk from her place to the bus stop to get the bus to come home to my place, I always carried my bag in my left hand, like my cloth bag or plastic bag or whatever I was using. And I used to, unfortunately, smoke with my right hand. So I was always pulling myself to the one side because sometimes the bag would be pretty heavy with somewhat of a big project. And I kept my wallet with me, my tablet, possibly a book I was reading. And if it was a hardcover, thick book, obviously it's heavier. Unfortunately, another nasty habit I've got is I drink pop like it's going out of style. So if I'm carrying, my bottle of pop with me and it's still pretty full and it's heavy. So finally in 2018, I mentioned to the hubby that I wanted to get a backpack so I could have it on both shoulders, distribute the weight better and stuff like that. So we were out shopping for the kids. I hadn't seen a backpack I liked, so we got it for me for my Christmas gift. So anyways, that is my project bag for when I used to babysit my niece and nephew. That was my project bag when I would go to our public libraries different days of the week, different times of the week, because we had like a free gathering of ladies who would knit and crochet and hang out together for a couple hours. Also, it would be my project bag for on the weekends or for on holidays, whatever, when the hubby and I go to our camper. That's the bag I always carry with me now. I love it. So anyways, I did a video like she asked us to do. I showed everything that was in it. I did mention a couple things that normally would be in it, but at that time were not, and I'm not sure why. I must have used them and never refilled said items. And then we were supposed to tag her in the video. Now, not 100% sure if I did that right. So then what I did was, once I uploaded that video, and I don't know who may have seen it, that was going back a while ago. I then went back to her original video, and I let her know that I made a video, and here's a copy of the link. Let me know that you've seen it, please, because if I don't hear from you in a few days, I'll send you an email also with the link. Well, within an hour, she got back to me with a little heart saying, like, I got it, so on and so forth. Now, because she had been away for like a year, or actually a little bit more than a year, I think she lost a lot of followers, which is sad for her. Like, you don't want to see someone lose followers, but if you're not out there, people aren't going to keep you on their list, right? So, I don't know, about a month after said challenge was over, she had a live going on. So I went on her live and was visiting with her stuff. And I asked her, I'm like, did you ever pick a winner for the project bags? She goes, I did. And there was only one entry. And I'm like, okay, that had been me then, because I know I made the thing and she acknowledged it. So she's seen it. She goes, well, then if it was you, it was you. And that's all that was really said about it. Then, I don't know, about a month later, a few weeks later, maybe, something like that, she was on another live. I went in, I was just sitting there chatting with her, like, not in there to say, hey, what's going on with that video? So then she did mention, or I did see it finally up, so I responded to what she needed from me and stuff. And she was, hey, I owe you a winnings. I'm like, yep, you do, but whenever you can get around to it, kind of thing, Wasn't rushing her. I know she's got young children, elementary, younger ages, so like she's busy, mom of two, So she did make a sticky note and stuck it on her computer screen or her laptop screen or whatever device it is she uses down in her craft area. And then nothing more was said of it. Well, then one day I had to go in my emails and I'm sitting on a $20 Amazon card. Yay, I get to go shopping. So what did I buy with my winnings? Well, I kind of thought about different movies I own some parts to and missing some and stuff like that, like for the complete set. And this one in particular, I didn't even know there was a second or a third movie for it. I love the first one. It's like, I have to say it's my all-time favorite vampire movie, and that would be Lost Boys. If you're into vampires and such, it's a really good movie. It's got its funny moments. I love the first one. Just like I said, it was that one and Interview with the Vampire are my two all-time favorite vampire movies. So I didn't realize they made a second for Lost Boys and a third. So I thought, you know what? Let's go ahead and get the second one. And it arrived yesterday, and I wasn't expecting it till next Monday. So, and this is Wednesday, so it came in like a week early. And I'm like, okay, glad I was home to get it, because I didn't even think to go on Amazon to track it yesterday because I wasn't expecting it. So here's the new movie. It's got one of those holographic. Yeah, it's not coming out too great on the camera, but you can hear it. So if you tilt it certain ways, it gives you two different pictures. So that's what I got with my winnings from Liz. So thank you, Liz, very much. If you see this, I can't wait to watch. I think we're going to take it to the camper this weekend because hubby and I've got some yard work still to do. So there's that. Now, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. So what is the that? What? Blah, blah, blah. Okay, Tammy, use your words. What is that? Well, I'll show you Project 1, which is the one that's in the Michael's bag. And the book is The Sophie's Universe. Wow. Have I ever put a dent in this book? Like, way more than I thought. I have one more round to do, and I will be done round 3. It's like, it is whipping up really quick. I've found a couple spots so far that, I don't know, the instructions didn't seem to quite work out or make sense the way they were worded. So I had to kind of muck with it a couple times to figure out what it was telling me to do. And the yarn I am using and loving this yarn, like literally this is my favorite favorite Caron cakes, and that's the skinny cakes. I love these cakes. There's the colorway. It is peach mint is this colorway. And I'm going to guess I'm probably not quite halfway done this first cake. And I've got the stitch marker to show where I was last time I showed it. Try to do it where the yarn's at the top. Well, I'll do it with the stitch marker at the top. So, never mind the hook, the crochet hook. I always put it in my work if possible, so I don't lose it. And because the bag's not a sealable bag, I would rather it be in my project. So here it is so far. Let's pull it back a little so you might be able to see it better. Hope you guys can see all of it. And then down here at the bottom is where the yarn's hanging. But I'm just letting the colors fall where they may. I am so loving this. Like, I'm going to do the largest size because I believe it comes in the pattern, it comes in 3 sizes. So I am going to do the largest size just because I'm loving it so much. But there is 1/4 of it. Hope you guys can see it pretty good. It's coming along really well. Like, I like that I'm using a 3-weight yarn because it's light. So let's go ahead and move the stitch marker while I'm thinking of it. Because I don't think this blanket, I would be as much of a fan of it had I gone with a worsted weight yarn. And I also don't think I'd be so much of a fan of it if I was switching colors all the time. Like, just all that sewing in, like when you look at it and all the color changes, like, for those who made it and actually changed the color every time, bravo to you, because I would not have done it. There's no way. I want to be able to use one cake or, skein or whatever it was I chose. So there's the stitch marker in now where my yarn is. Let's move my hook up too. Now I gotta say the next round, which is the last round for segment 3, is called, I believe, I want to call it the crab stitch. I believe is what it's called. It's a reverse single crochet. I have done that stitch different times. I don't mind doing it. I don't find it complicating or anything like that. But I've always used it as a trim or a border, like on a bag or top of a basket. I've never worked into it after I've done the crab stitch. So it's going to be interesting to see what the next round tells me to do. Like the first round for section 4. Like, I don't know, maybe then if we work into the row before it or what. Like, I'm anxious to find that out. Because like I said, I've always used the crab stitch as, or a reverse single, depending on how you want to look at it, as a finishing stitch, never to work in it afterwards. So we'll see how that goes. So that's one project I've got on the go right now. And hopefully next week I will have more on it for you. Then the other project, and again, I thank everybody who voted, is my Head to Toe Winter Knit book. And the pattern that I am currently working on that you guys voted for, and again, thank you very much. I think it was like 86% votes, went to the Lacy Dream headband. And here's a picture of it finished. It's a pretty wide band, which I'm not too much of a fan of, but I'm going to make it and see how I like it. I can always give it away if I'm not a fan of it. Now, the yarn I'm using was given to me at one point, and like most yarns I get given to me, it was just balled up. It is a very light lilac color. No band, like no information on said yarn. And I'm just going to try and place it here with a solid background. Now I've got, oh boy. The instructions are simple. I will admit that. They are simple. But if you miss a stitch or when you're reading each, like every other row, it makes a mess. And to tear it back, and because there's slip stitches and yarn overs and multiple stitches knit together, and it's hard to tear it back. I've torn this back now a few times. I'm hoping my version I have written out now that I'm following instead of the book itself. Hopefully I've got all the kinks worked out of it. I must, because I'm on the second repeat of the 14 rows. I've done the one whole section, and I've already started the second. So I guess I figured out the mistake. I just got to make sure while I'm reading each section in the book that, like my book, that I follow it to a T, because I've ripped this out I don't know how many times. There's been a few times I have too many stitches at the end and only have one thing left to do, and it's like, okay, this isn't working out. Like, frustrating, but it's a very beautiful, beautiful pattern, and I'm hoping you guys will be able to see it okay. Mind the finger in the middle at the top, but there you guys go. I really hope you guys can see that. Unfortunately, I can't tell because I'm behind the book. But it's a very pretty pattern. It's going to be very lacy. It's going to have like the chevron look to it. So let's put a stitch marker in this. I know where I am. And hopefully next week I can show you further along. But like I said, I'm going to the trailer this weekend. So who knows? Maybe it will be done by next week. With me, you never know, right? Now I do have the poll up for the next 3 patterns in the book. So if you wouldn't mind, there, the stitch markers in place now. If you wouldn't mind going over, put a vote in. Even if you're not a crafter, just go over and put a vote in. Like I said, it's more entertainment for me to see what you guys all pick. And it'll be interesting to see what my next pattern will be after this one. But I'm really liking it. Like I said, it is a very pastel-y lilac color. Very, very pretty. Had I had more of this yarn, I think it would make made a very beautiful little baby girl cardigan. But I only had the one little ball of it, so I didn't want to make something and then run out. It will be interesting to see how many sets of repeats I gotta do, because from the looks of the model, there's at least, I think she's got at least 6, possibly 7. And like I said, this is all I have. So once I start getting down to like the nitty gritty, after every set of 4, like, well, that's where I'm at now. After the 4-row knit, before you start the lace again, I'm going to have to keep measuring it on my head. And then it's funny because you got this, like, I know when I was reading the pattern and working it up the very first time, you only started with 3 stitches down here at the bottom. And then it grows every so often. And I'm looking at it thinking, that's so weird. It makes no sense. Like, what am I going to do with that at the end? Well, when you cast off or bind off at the top, because it's going to be straight, you're going to sew it like here, across the bottom and back up. So you're going to have a section that's going to be a little solid. So it'll be neat to see how that works out. And you guys know my sewing skills suck. I will admit it, they're not the greatest. But me working on different projects is giving me practice, right? By the way, my husband loves his hat. If you'd seen actually, you haven't seen it yet. You won't see it till tomorrow. Sorry. If you want to see my husband's hat, stay tuned for tomorrow. I've already recorded the video because my husband wanted his toque right away and stuff. He didn't want to wait, and I didn't want him to get it dirty. And because they work in a warehouse and they deal with a lot of packages, it could get dirty real quick. Like, you should see their work. Well, more so my son's work jacket. It's black and the type of material, it's not coming out. So it's like, yeah, I wanted to record the video before my husband got his hat. So I pre-recorded that. It will be going up sometime Thursday for things we're making Thursday. So that's all I have for this and that. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Please, like I said, go over to my community tab, put a vote in. Even if you're not a crafter, I really appreciate it. It's more or less to make it fun for me. Again, just a quick reminder, like if you go back to my last it was my last video I posted when I announced the winner of the new project and stuff. The instructions are in there as to how, or if there's a tie, how I will break it down. I'm not going to go through it all again, but yeah, please, if you haven't voted, go on over. It takes a few seconds to hit my community tab and place the vote. Anyways, guys, I love yous. I will see you guys. Well, you guys will see me tomorrow, but it's already, like I said, pre-recorded. And then Friday evening at 8 o'clock Eastern time, I will be back for posting live bingo because our dear friend Bill is still taking time off just to mentally health, relaxation and deal with some issues and stuff. And he'll be back when he's ready to go back to hosting. So right now I'm filling in for him on Fridays. And I think this Friday I'm going to do 10 number bingo. So if you want to come over and check it out, 8 o'clock Eastern time, love to see you there. Bye, everybody.